Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 1, the premiere of the Mortgage Guys podcast. So, there's no show about mortgages. There's no show. I mean, there's a few, but they're small.
Yeah.
And what I notice is like they don't get a lot of views. And what I want to do is like I built my personal brand. I built my social media. I build the companies, and it got me a lot of influence. So like my word carries power. And I'm thinking like, what can I do right now to help? Because a lot of people are scared because they think it's not a good time to buy. Rates are too high. And what if the real estate market crashes? What if I should wait for next year because next year rates are going to be lower? So there's a lot of confusion out there.
Right.
And I know that like 80% of my audience that follow me are Latino millennials, Latino American millennials. And I want to help those people, and everybody else. But I'm Mexican, obviously. So I'm very, I have a special place in my heart for all my Latino community out there. And we're going to run this, it's going to be a 30-minute show. We're going to run another 30 minutes right after this in Spanish. Right. So we're going to put it on the Spanish YouTube channel and then on the English YouTube channel. But I want to get started. Just the reason why I got into mortgages is because my parents were shopping for a mortgage in the 1990s. So I was about 6-7 years old. And I remember that my parents were looking for a house, but they never got approved. And they were just working with the wrong realtor, the wrong loan officer. A realtor showed my parents homes, and then they found out he didn't qualify. My dad and my mom, they actually did qualify, but they were just working with a crappy lender. And I remember we would see houses in Burbank, and they were like $85,000
Right.
in Burbank. Like now they're $1 million homes, and we would see homes, and my parents could have bought a house for $85K, but it was because they were working with bad loan officers and bad realtors that they didn't. I would sometimes the realtor didn't even have the key to the house. So I would break in because back then the houses had those little dog holes. So the dog holes in the front. I would get in through there and open the door for the agents.
That's crazy.
So I remember I would do that, and we would see a lot of homes in Burbank, and Burbank's a nice area. So our dreams, not to make the story long, were crushed because we couldn't buy a house when I was like 6-7 years old. So I always remembered that. And when the opportunity came to get into mortgages, I got into mortgages. And then me and you started just helping a lot of families in South Central.
Right.
And mostly, I would say like 97% were Latinos.
Right.
And a lot of them didn't even speak English. They were just Spanish speakers. So that helped Syl polish her Spanish a little bit because she was like kind of whitewashed. and me, like, Spanish was my first language. Then I learned English and I forgot Spanish. So it's kind of weird, but we got into real estate and mortgage. She was a realtor and I was the mortgage guy. And so that's why I decided we're going to start a company. We're going to name it The Mortgage Guy, which then became The Mortgage Guys. And now here we are. And I'm telling Syl, hey, you know what? I built my following, my personal brand. So now I want to use it to reach people that I can help. And I want to have people here, guests, ask questions live about mortgages. I know a lot of people ask me questions about, hey, Albert, so what's a DSCR loan? I have a hard money loan. I have this scenario. What is first time home buyer? What's an FHA loan? What's a VA loan? Conventional, credit scores. There's a lot of questions out there. So me and Syl, obviously, we wanted to premiere it today because we're going to launch it next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, I'm going to have my first co-host, who's going to be Frankie. And Frankie's going to be here with me. And we're going to have all of our, people here in the Mortgage Guys that are going to be part of the show. And we're going to just share scenarios of how we got a family into escrow. So one of the things that happens a lot, Syl, that I was talking to Beche, and he was telling me that a lot of times right now, people are having problems with their lender because their lender is not qualifying them good.
Right.
So they're making mistakes when they qualify clients. And sometimes that's what happened with my parents. Mm-hmm. When a bad lender could make you file your tax returns with the wrong amounts.
Right.
And then you're like stuck. And then now you have to amend your taxes, or you have to wait till next year, or there's a lot of I think it's one of the most important things in life when you buy your home, and which you need a mortgage to buy a home. So it's very important to be with a quality lender that's going to guide you well, give you all the details you need, and kind of hold your hand throughout the process. Because right now, it is the best time to buy. It's the best time to buy, especially going into the holidays. And I'm going to tell you why. Because right now, going into the holidays, a lot of people are going to be a little bit occupied with, it's Halloween.
It's called nesting.
It's Thanksgiving. And people are going to be like prioritizing buying Christmas gifts, partying. And then if you're a homeowner and you're serious right now, I would save that money. And I would save it for your down payment. And I would buy now because there's less competition in the holidays. And also, the rates are higher. It's the best time to buy when the rates are higher. Why am I saying that? Because it's the best time to buy when the rates are higher. Why? Because there's also less competition. And because the rate is just made up. You know, a rate, you could have a 9% today. You could have a 6% in a month, in 2 months, in 6 months. So you could always refinance the rate, but the purchase price, you're not going to be able to bring down that purchase price ever. And if you wait, for example, let's say you wait till next year to buy, maybe instead of getting 7.5%, maybe you get a 6.5%. However, the property might be 10% higher. So you want to be smart, and you always want to have a strategy. Why is it better to buy now than later? See, the best time to buy is when you find the right house. But number one step is what? What's the first step? You were a real estate agent.
Yes.
So what was the first step, the most important part before you showed a client a home?
Obviously, for them to be pre-qualified. And my name is Sylvia Preciado. This is Albert Preciado. So
I do a very good job in introducing my co-host.
He never does. He never does. But he can be great at everything. So, you know, we have been in business for a very, very long time. I've been doing real estate for 15 years now. So I've seen it all. I've been through it all. It's crazy. He went through the first recession we had. And after that is when I met him. And that's when I got into the industry. But being pre-qualified would be the number one step, because if you don't get pre-qualified, you don't know exactly where you stand. And if you don't know where you stand, there's absolutely no way that you know what to do moving forward, right? So 100% lenders drop the ball a lot. Also, some realtors do as well, because I know there's a lot of good lenders, you know, waiting for their pre-qualified clients to get into escrow. And if the agents are not aggressive, you know, it takes a lot longer for that to happen. And what I mean by being aggressive is negotiating skills, knowing how to write up, you know, an offer that's competitive and appealing to the sellers, depending on the market that we're in. So there's a lot, you know, your parents, I feel so sad that they never bought that house, because I can imagine, you know, and I would never let my child crawl through a doggy door. That's crazy. Who knows what was on the other side? But, you know, to touch on that, in Glendale, homes right now are $1 million plus. So I can't even imagine 90,000, right? And this is why real estate is always the best investment. It's a great investment, and it doesn't have to be the perfect home. It's never going to be the right time. You know, all that really matters is if you can afford the mortgage payment. That's really all that any and everybody looking for a home currently should be focused on, because what difference does it make what the rate is, right? Because you can always refi out of it. You're going to make moves when you own real estate multiple times in your lifetime if you learn how to play the cards right. A lot of people don't know how to play the cards right. And they're like, oh, I'm just going to be stuck in this house for 30 years. And I'm like, no, you have your starter home that's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be your dream house, but it's you putting a foot in the door, right? So that you have something to bargain with in the future. This is what I tell all of my clients. I always have and I always will, you know, and I also always recommend that not everybody has a lot of money just laying around, right? There's a lot of lower end middle class people that they have a lot of overhead, so they don't usually have tons and tons of money laying around. So I'm like, well, why don't you buy 4 units, live in one, rent the other 3, we'll circle back in 6 months, a year, 2 years from now, so that we could make some moves, right? And what does this mean? This means, okay, now you can put 5% down and get a single family home that, again, it might not be your dream home, but it's another property acquired for your portfolio of real estate, because the goal is to have a lot of doors. So then you now rent that 4-unit property, right? 3 are rented, you move out of one, now you have 4 rents, you move into one, and you just keep doing that over time. I would say for an average person that's not exactly an investor, I would shoot to buy a property a year, 1 property a year, so that in the long run, in the future, real estate is, a long run thing. It takes time. You have a portfolio.
And also remember that we could also help you refinance.
Yeah.
So we could help you refinance and pull out money from your property so that you can use that money to buy another property.
Right.
So do me a favor, you guys on the Zoom, if anybody here has a question for mortgage, can you guys comment? Put a comment right there, the mortgage guys comments. Put a comment there and let's answer your questions. If somebody wants to go live with me right now on a mortgage question, comment there. Hey, I want to go live right now. I want to ask you a question live. Turn on the camera and let's talk about mortgages. Also, here at the mortgage guys, anybody that gets on here on the Mortgage Guys podcast, we're gonna pay for your appraisal. So if you're buying a house right now, even if you're working with another lender, even if you're in escrow, cancel that with that lender and just come to me. I'm gonna pay for your appraisal, okay? And not only that, we're gonna give you the family and friends discount. So we're gonna give you like our best pricing for you. Just because you're a member of the Mortgage Guys podcast, we're gonna give you special pricing. And all you need to do is text that number right there. 310-801-6044. That's 310-801-6044. If you want to get qualified, and you know what? I'll even invite you to come in and meet me here in the office. Like if you guys want to come get pre-approved, we'll pay for your appraisal. I'll come say hi, we'll hang out for a few minutes and meet me, because I know a lot of you follow me for other reasons, but why not buy a mortgage? Why buy a house and get a mortgage here? We're going to pay for your appraisal and we're going to give you the family and friends discount. We don't give this to anybody. I want to tell you that. We only give this to family and really close friends.
Right.
So we're going to give you the best pricing for your interest rate. And we're also going to take care of your appraisal. So if you have any questions here, you want to refinance with our family and friends pricing, or you want to buy a house, let me know here. Any questions about how much does it cost to get a second loan? So let's get Miguel here on the Zoom. Can you turn on his camera and all that?
How much?
Okay, so how much does it cost to get a second mortgage? So look, there you have 2 options. You could either get a HELOC if you don't want to touch your rate, or you could refinance. Now, if your rate is not that low, meaning unless you have a 2% or 3%, then I'm gonna have to tell you, hey, it's not smart to refinance, because you're never gonna get that rate again. I'm not here to just because I want to make money. I'm here because I want to help you guys. So it would be unethical for me to tell you otherwise. And if you have a 2%, 3% interest rate, just keep it and get a HELOC, because it doesn't make any sense. It's you're never going to get that rate again. And hopefully you do, but I just don't think so. And if you could get a HELOC though and get a second loan, and the rate's going to be around more or less, the 9-ishes. So the 9s. So that could be an option. But if you bought, maybe you bought later, maybe your credit score was low and you got a higher rate, then doing a full refinance could be a better option, because now you get 1 loan, right, instead of 2. And what happens sometimes with HELOCs, credit lines, is sometimes they lower your HELOC amount. So sometimes they'll give you a credit line of, let's say, $150,000. If the market gets bad, they might cut it, and now you don't have that money. So for me, I'm a business guy, first of all. So I don't really care about the interest rate. Like, I don't care about interest rates. I don't care about credit card rates. I don't care about loan rate interest. If I know the way I make my decision is, if I'm gonna make more money than the interest rate that I'm paying, then it makes sense. So even if you cash out refinance at a 7.5%, for example, you refinance 7.5%. If you're gonna make more money, let's say you're gonna make a return of 40%. You're winning. You're making 40% and you're only paying 7.5 over 30 years. I'll take it day and night. And also, you're never gonna have to worry about, man, what if they cut my credit line in half? Times get tough. You're counting on that money. Maybe you have somebody in your family that gets sick. You need that money and you don't have it anymore. So you tell me what's more important, to have access to the cash or to have a credit line that might get cut. So, you know what, there's a lot of reasons why you could refinance or get a HELOC, pros and cons, but there are options out there. And also, for example, if you guys don't qualify because maybe you haven't filed your tax returns, maybe you got a cut in your income, maybe you have a large down payment. There's a lot of compensating factors and a lot of different programs that we have available here at The Mortgage Guys. So we want to get all your answers, all your questions here, so we could answer you. And then, so you want to share something about that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the media, the news, they'll feed us a lot, but the reality is it's a good time when you can buy. It's that simple. When you can buy and you can afford the payment, that's when you should, lock in whatever property you can get yourself into. There are a lot of programs and things that come up, Usually a good program, like I believe it was called the Dream program. Dream for All, it came and it went. It was like, 2 weeks, I believe. It was so fast. And, the people that were able to secure, the financing, good for them, amazing. And then later on, you can always, move things around, it's like chess. You just move things around and acquire more and more and more property. For those of you that haven't played Monopoly, play Monopoly. It's something similar to that, and it'll help you understand a little bit of how it works, right? And I mean, I love real estate. I always have. That's why I got into the industry, and it's been great. So
check this out. For those of you that are watching here, maybe you don't have a lot of money and your credit's not the best. But for example, I have Patty and Jared. They closed a deal right now, and it was an FHA loan because our first property was FHA.
FHA.
I got an FHA. You got an FHA, and I got 3 units. You got 4 units. So this deal that Patty and Jared closed, FHA loan, single family, 640 FICO score, 2 years taxes, and it was a down payment assistant loan program. So the buyers, guess how much they came in to close?
$1,000?
$5,000.
Nice.
Seller paid closing cost.
Yeah.
They came in with $5,000, and you know how that works. When you buy a house, your mortgage payment is usually like 2 months away, sometimes a month and a half, but it's usually always like almost 2 months away.
Right.
So think about it. You're putting $5,000 because you got down payment assistant, and then the $5,000 came from a donor. So it was a gift. And you did a lot of those. And sometimes you don't understand how that works. So if you don't have money, you don't even have to have money. You could get a gift from somebody else, from a family member. And if you have a 640 FICO score, you qualify. And you don't need a down payment. So remember, the longer you wait to buy, the more the prices are going to go up, because prices are not going down right now. There's a shortage of homes available for purchase, of inventory. So you got to buy when you're ready. And what I recommend all of you right now is take advantage of this. Get pre-approved. It's free. We offer it here for free. So why not get pre-approved here? Find out how much you qualify for free. And if once you know, then you decide, okay, well, you know what? I want to buy right now. Or you know what? I'm going to buy in the beginning of next year. Well, if you want to buy in the beginning of next year, you got to start right now because the whole pre-approval process takes a while. And what if your FICO score is a little lower? Maybe you could work it up. And by the time next year starts, now you go from a 630 to maybe a 720 because it's very easy and fast to bump up your credit score. And the difference in rates between a 620 FICO score, 630 FICO score, and a 700 plus is going to be a big difference. You're going to save a lot of money. So it's better to come get pre-approved. And what I'm doing right now is anybody that follows us here, like we're going to give you the family and friends pricing discount. And not only that, we're going to also pay for your appraisal. You just got to make sure that you tell us you came from the podcast, the Mortgage Guys podcast. So let us know. Once again, if you want to get this deal, go. I'm on Instagram too. So go on Instagram, not on Instagram, but call the number. I have it there pinned for the people watching me on Instagram. It's 310-801-6044. Okay, so that's 310-801-6044. You guys can go there, send me a text, give me a call. Shit, like I want to talk to you guys, and let's get you pre-approved. That's the first step. Really quick, right here, because this podcast is cool. I'm not a boring like loan officer that's very, very experienced. I'm like a young, fresh, cool.
You are pretty experienced.
I'm a cool, like hip mortgage dude. So we have here Andrew right here, right? Speaking of buying a house,
right?
Andrew here, one of our employees, he just bought a house. Or actually 2 units,
Two
right?
units.
2 units. He just bought 2 units.
And he's going to build an ADU in the back, which is so exciting.
Baller, dude. Baller. Like you did it. You did it, man. So maybe just share really quick, like how was that experience of buying a house, and how was it hard? Was it easy? How much did you put down? And what does it look like? If you want, just
sit over here.
Yeah, just come really quick.
Okay.
Just really quick, so really quick.
Yeah.
So actually, Andrew's behind the scenes here, filming us and everything. But
here I am.
He just changed spots with Syl. But he's one of our guys. He works here for the mortgage. You work for Driven. Yeah, he works for Driven,
Ambiance, and the Mortgage Guys. Yeah,
we have 4 companies in here. So sometimes I get confused with all everybody. But
you know how to work it, Syl?
So tell people who you are, Andrew, and how was it buying your first house?
Hey, what's up, everyone on Instagram and
don't get nervous. YouTube. Come on.
Yeah, right. No, so I'm Andrew. I do the marketing here for all 4 companies, and so I've been here about a year, and I've learned all the tactics and all the FHA loans and different things to get into the process. So yeah, number one was I went to a loan officer that worked here. I told him, hey, it was actually me and my girl, because me and my girl, we've been in a relationship for years now. So our first step was, we should get a property together. So in LA, it's very difficult to qualify because everything's high up in prices. So me and my girl had incomes combined. So we qualified for a duplex here in South Central. And step number 1 was getting pre-approved. So I was with the lender. They told me how much I can get in based on our income. So then I started on Zillow, and I went to one of the agents here as well from Ambiance. I already had kind of an idea of what I wanted to do. I wanted a duplex for sure, because Albert taught me to get units, and I wanted to have a garage so I can eventually do a garage conversion ADU. So I kind of had a game plan of what I wanted, what I was trying to look for. And I teamed up with the loan officer, teamed up with an agent. The process was smooth, easy. I came down with the down payment, maybe together it was about $22,000. FHA 3.5 down. And after that, it was now. And now I'm here, homeowner. It's crazy. I took one step at a time. I did one checklist, did that checklist, did this checklist.
And you know what was the best part of it is that you bought a house that needed work.
Exactly.
So now you bought it. You got a cheaper. You got a better deal. You bought it cheaper. Mm-hmm. Now you're doing the work yourself.
Yeah.
And so that's going to add value to the property.
Yeah.
Because when you buy property, sometimes they're remodeled already. So you're going to pay more for that. So you save money by doing that. And now you're going to live in one of the units. You're going to make rental income from the other unit.
Yes, sir.
And then you're going to make rental income from the third unit in the back when you build the ADU. So this guy's on a roll, man. This guy's setting himself up for success. And he's a prime example that, hey, it doesn't matter where you are in life. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be a millionaire, multimillionaire to buy real estate.
Nope.
There's a lot of ways to qualify. And he qualified with his income, his girl's income, and rental income. So he had 3 incomes right there. And he bought FHA and got a great deal. So Andrew, really proud of you. Really proud of you. Albert. So like, dude, that's big things.
I fucking learned everything here, you know?
Yeah.
Shout out Ambiance, shout out TMG. Let's go.
So like I tell you guys, we're very
That was cool.
we know how to pivot here at the Mortgage Guys podcast. So
we switched for a little bit.
Yeah. So
and also, you know, Andrew, because rates are a little tad bit higher, they're still great.
Well, he's gonna refinance.
Yeah, I'll let you know when you're ready to refi, and we'll take care of that.
I'll do your refi.
One of our elders will do your refi.
So yeah, guys. So look. Is there any questions on the messages? Let's check really quick. If anybody wants to go live with me, raise your hand or something. All right.
There is a little bit of an echo, Andrew.
Yeah, it's all good. So another thing is sometimes your lender will qualify you. Sometimes the lender will qualify you for, like, let's say, Becha was telling me that he got a client. That a lender qualified the client.
One of our clients
for $450,000, and then we got that client, right? And then Beche ran the numbers, and the client actually qualified for $600.
Wow!
And the client got into escrow because the client was looking for homes in the 450 range. Couldn't find anything. Right. And then when they came here to the Mortgage Guys with Beche, we qualified this client for $600. This client went into escrow for $595, closed the deal.
Nice.
So that's why it's very important here. Like if you are in looking for a house, or even if you already have a lender, get a second opinion.
Right.
Like, is your lender going to pay for your appraisal? Is your lender going to give you the friends and family discount? So it doesn't hurt. I always tell everybody, get a second opinion because it doesn't hurt. It's free. And we're going to take care of you right here. Not only that, like I said, we'll meet up here in person. I'm always here in the office. So I'll spend, I'll go down, sit down, shake your hand, spend a little bit of time with you. So I just want to help my people. And also, once again, if anybody here wants to get just a free pre-approval, then just text or call the number 310-801-6044. And we're going to put it on the bottom. Andrew, we could just put it on once we edit it and post it. Just have the number right there so everybody can go there and text and call.
Also, info at the Mortgage Guys. All this stuff will be pinned.
Text is easier. It's easier. Like if I want to go out on a date with the girl, I'm not going to ask her for her email. I'm going to ask her for her cell phone. Right. Imagine if I would have met you and I would have been, hey, babe, can I have your email?
Stop.
That way we could connect later. Now even better. It's like a DM. Say, hey, send me a DM, girl.
A lot of people meet on Instagram. It's crazy. And get married and stuff.
So still to wrap up, because this was our premiere, we're going to run it back right now, but we're going to run it in Spanish. Okay. So to wrap up, why don't you tell people how you got your 4-unit property before you got married?
So super, super simple. I said, hey, Albert, can you qualify me? I believe I was working as a realtor for 1 year. I bought it right away. I was 22 years old. 22? I'll have to look up the facts, but very early on in my career, because I love real estate.
Who was your loan officer?
You. He actually closed my loan in like 14 business days. Right?
Yeah.
So it helps when the client is very responsive.
And that was unheard of like back then.
Yeah. And it gets you all the documents quickly because we don't waste any time as far as, the back end of the process goes. But for me, it was just a decision. And that's what I always tell people. Don't think too much. Don't put too much doubt into your head. Get pre-qualified. See where you stand. Look for properties. Make offers. Open escrow. That's it. everything takes its course. And as I'm a big believer in, everything happens for a reason. So you have to help yourself, right? So how do you help yourself? You start from the beginning, which is getting pre-qualified, because some of our clients, we work with them for months before they're ready to make their first offer and actually go home shopping. And other clients are ready right away, as I was. He told me exactly what to do, because when you're self-employed, your expenses can't be too high because it takes away from your gross net income.
Yeah.
And he told me what to do. I did it. The next day I was looking up properties, called an agent, and that's it. Made an offer, and it was so easy, so fast. But I'm a very committed, decisive person, and I just decide I'm going to do something. I go do it, and I don't look back, and I don't doubt myself.
Yeah. And also, guys, to wrap up really quick, if you have a hard money loan right now, there's a lot of people with hard money loans out there. You could refinance out of it with a DSCR loan. So Frankie had a loan, and his client had a hard money loan, and they were about to lose their home.
Right.
And previously, this client tried with 2 other lenders, and they couldn't get it done. And then Frankie was able to get it done and save them from their foreclosure. And then even negotiated with the hard money lender to not foreclose on their home.
Right.
So it's very important to work with the right lender, because it's one of the most important things in your life besides your family. Like, you got to take care of your home, and the mortgage is part of your home. You need a good loan officer to be able to buy your house. So with that said, if anybody here wants more information, wants to contact us, please send us a text or call us at the number right here, 310-801-6044. We'll see you guys next week, Wednesday. We're going to be back here Wednesday for the Mortgage Guys Podcast official episode number 2.
See you guys.